Red Bull gives you wings.
This iconic tagline has permeated our culture, but have you ever wondered about the man behind the brand? But the entire story is about a small-time duck farmer who defied all odds to become the founder of the multi-million company Red Bull. Red Bull is one of the most well-known brands in the world. It is available in more than 170 nations and sells over 7.9 billion cans annually. This caffeine drink is used by lousy office workers as well as exam-crammed students. But did you know that Red Bull was originally made for Thailand's working class? Yes, this super popular beverage company was founded by Chaleo Yuvitia, who was once a humble duck farmer. We don't know if Red Bull can give you actual wings, but Chaleo Yuvitia's dreams got wings, and he succeeded with his absolutely brilliant marketing strategy. Red Bull was the first energy drink on the market, and most people thought it was destined to fail because there was nothing else like it. When Red Bull was launched, there was nothing like the energy drink market. However, the company's founders had a different plan. They trusted their creative idea, and by going with their instincts, they transformed a small market into a billion-dollar global company. Given his upbringing and life experiences, Chaleo Yuvitia's success story was unimaginable to foresee. Chaleo was so reclusive that his exact birth date had never been established. Nevertheless, Chaleo would eventually become the third richest man in Thailand. All that is known about him is that he was born in the Phichit province in northern Thailand. Chaleo's parents were poor Chinese immigrants who raised ducks and sold fruit to make ends meet. As a result of his difficult upbringing, Chaleo never received much formal education. He had been helping his parents on the farm, but the income was meager, so he eventually decided he wanted something more in the hopes of creating a better life for himself. Young Chaleo moved to Bangkok, Thailand's bustling capital city. This was a huge change, but even though the city was exciting, his life didn't become any easier. His primary skills were fruit sales and duck farming. Due to his lack of formal education, he was forced to work a variety of odd jobs to make ends meet. Eventually, he felt it was time to start his own business, which he called TC Pharmaceutical Industries. This business produced and imported antibiotics and cosmetics. Nobody could have predicted that one of the company's upcoming drinks would one day completely transform Chaleo's life. Chaleo's pharmaceutical business was flourishing, and the additional cash flow allowed him to become increasingly inventive. At the time, energy drinks were more often consumed for practical purposes than for enjoyment because the majority of them tasted bad and had an overpoweringly strong medicinal aftertaste. Even the industry leader Lipovitton struggled with this issue. Chaleo saw a promising business possibility and decided to take action, starting to mix things, and one day in 1976, he mixed up an intriguing syrup mixture called Krating Dang. Krating Dang is Thai for Red Gower or Red Bull. From here, we think you can guess what will happen next, right? Neither Chaleo nor many experts could have predicted at the time how large his drink would eventually grow. As you can see, Chaleo's beverage wasn't very popular at first. It was only sold in pharmacies, and instead of catering to Bangkok's elite, the drink was marketed as a pick-me-up for rural Thai laborers as the country's economy became more industrialized. Krating Dang, on the other hand, gradually gained popularity as more and more people realized that there were more profitable ways to make a living than farming, and the number of truck and taxi drivers as well as factory and construction workers increased significantly. The working class loved the beverage, and Krating Dang quickly rose to the top of the national energy drink sales charts. Chaleo had always advertised his product as a stimulant that enhanced speed, endurance, and concentration, and that was precisely what weary long-haul truckers and exhausted day laborers needed. Saravut, the second oldest son of Chaleo, claims that the company distinguished itself from its rivals by focusing on blue-collar workers outside of Bangkok. My father stressed brand building, a marketing strategy that had not been widely employed up to that time. He pushed into the provincial market first and gained a foothold by distributing free samples to truck drivers. Krating Dang's working-class image was enhanced by its sponsorship of Thai boxing contests, wherein the company displayed its emblem, which included 2 Red Bulls. Chaleo wanted to establish a long-lasting connection between his beverage and the popular sport in Thailand. And of course, the logo itself was carefully designed. The pair of charging bulls stands for power, the sun's backdrop represents energy, while the color red stands for perseverance. Would a catchy advertisement and well-known sponsorships be enough though? Following Krating Dang's popularity, Chaleo started selling his much-loved beverage abroad in the 1980s, initially in Singapore and subsequently in Hong Kong. However, the expansion quickly exceeded Chaleo's wildest expectations. Dietrich Mateschitz, an Austrian salesperson, discovered Krating Dang, an energy drink, while on a business trip to Thailand in 1982. Dietrich was immediately hooked by the drink's Dietrich's amazing ability to eliminate jet lag. Dietrich was born in St. Martin, a small Austrian hamlet, on May 20, 1944. Dietrich Mateschitz had already had a successful career as a sales and marketing executive when he first made his lips meet. Dietrich was employed primarily by companies that made toothpaste and shampoo, but not by those that made energy drinks. Dietrich had enjoyed his trip to Thailand and the miracle jet lag cure that was creating dang, but he was growing increasingly bored with his job and the travel. It wasn't until he went to Hong Kong that things really took off. While in Hong Kong, Dietrich read a news article claiming that Lippavitton was Japan's greatest taxpayer. A golden opportunity. Dietrich saw right away that this was a business opportunity he couldn't afford to miss. His life changed when he learned about the success of energy drinks in Asia. There was nothing comparable in the West, and he could already see the enormous success he would have by bringing the drink to other countries. Not one to waste time, he resigned from his job right away and went looking for Chaleo. Chaleo was at first hesitant, but Dietrich soon persuaded him, and together they spent $500,000. As a result, Red Bull was established in 1984. Resistance to innovation is common, and this instance was no exception. Trial groups stated that the drink tasted awful and left a sticky aftertaste in their mouths. So the duo's ideas for the Red Bull debut were not well received, and the results of the market research were not encouraging either. Dietrich believed he had found something special and decided to follow his instincts, but there was still much work to be done before introducing Red Bull to the Austrian market. The next 3 years were spent perfecting the drink's appearance and carbonation, as well as changing the bottle packaging to a slim silver can. After years of tinkering with the recipe, Dietrich finally released Red Bull in 1987, and by 1988, they had already sold 1.2 million boxes. The drink gained popularity as the first energy drink to attract customers from the East to the West. Its stimulating properties made college students and tired office workers alike, and Red Bull's success made both Chaleo and Dietrich multi-billionaires. This proves that it's usually a good idea to trust your gut. Consumers listen to their gut feelings when making purchasing decisions. Therefore, it's wise to pay attention to them even if they don't agree with data, facts, or preliminary studies. Red Bull logos are undoubtedly seen at sporting events. They may even be spotted in extreme activities like racing or skydiving. It's not by chance. Red Bull invests a large portion of its revenue in supporting athletes and occasions that align with its exuberant brand. This increases consumer association of the brand with thrilling and audacious acts, further increasing the drink's allure. Red Bull is distinct because it has cultivated a culture of its own. Young folks adore the beverage itself and its symbolism. Red Bull has capitalized on this by providing an experience rather than just an energy drink. Red Bull makes sure it's where the action is, whether it's by supporting extreme sports or by attending hip events. The success of Red Bull wasn't coincidental because it provided more than simply a drink. It became popular. Smart branding, high-end price, and association with exciting lives helped it become a representation of something that people aspire to be a part of. And that's the key to Red Bull's enormous success. What do you think of Red Bull's brilliant marketing strategy? Have you been inspired by their story? Tell us in the comments. That's all for now. We value your support. Thank you for staying with us. If you found this video enjoyable and informative, your like is a special token for us. By subscribing to our channel and clicking the red button, you gain exclusive access to our content. Your support is what drives us, and we want to ensure you never miss any future exclusive content from us.